Hey guys, welcome to this episode of From the Pages of WWF Magazine. I am Anthony, this is Collectors Entertainment Network, and this week we're getting into September 1988 issue of WWF Magazine with Brutus The Barber Beefcake on the cover. But before we get into that, of course, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe. Please like the video. Please share with anyone you think may like it as well. And of course, please comment down below. I would love to hear your WWF Magazine memories and stories and anything you want to tell me about them. I love to hear from you guys out there. All right, so Brutus the Barber on the cover, September 1988. Let's get into the pages. All right, guys, September 1988. Brutus the Barber Beefcake on the cover. Right there, Brutus the Barber Beefcake still strutting and cutting. Demolition versus Strike Force Martel Seriously Hurt. SummerSlam 88 exclusive preview. Haku crowned wrestling's new king of the ring. And Brother Love, a strange new presence in the WWF. And over here in the corner in this issue, Valentine stops Superstar for good and Hacksaw Jim Duggan at home. All right, let's crack into this. September 1988. Now, of course, it's September 88, but I got it August 4th, 1988, because they always came out about a month earlier, and when you got a subscription, I think you even got it earlier than it hit newsstands by a day or so. The WWF Action Line. Oh, and the Ultimate Warrior Say No to Drugs ad. Of course, say no to drugs, kids. Join the official WWF fan club. It's only $9.95. Around the ring, here they're talking about SummerSlam 88. The third pay-per-view. Well, I mean the third regular pay-per-view. Because you would say WrestleMania, then Survivor Series. Technically the Royal Rumble came first, but that was not a pay-per-view at first. That was a USA Network special. So I don't count that. I count SummerSlam as the third pay-per-view. But really the first ever pay-per-view television was the Wrestling Classic, because the original WrestleMania was not on pay-per-view. It was only closed circuit. It was not on pay-per-view television. Then the Wrestling Classic was on closed circuit and pay-per-view, which was later in 1985. So that was technically the first at-home pay-per-view. And then WrestleMania 2 was on pay-per-view and closed circuit. And then they kept going, WrestleMania 3, and then Survivor Series, and then finally SummerSlam 88. Piledriver still trying to sell you that cassette and poster. 12 hot hits for a cool penny. There we go. Fan forum. Looks like a recording of either Superstars or Wrestling Challenge. Oh, Bret the Hitman Hart is now the person on your Get All the WWF News subscribe and save page. And that changed, and we've got different magazines. I guess every few issues they change it so they can get the newer magazines in there. And I guess they changed the Superstar as well. The Powers of Pain. This must have been when they were making their entrance into the WWF. Yeah, Newsbreakers. Personality Profile, the Rockers. This is possibly the first I remember seeing of the Rockers in WWF Magazine. We might have gone by, but I don't remember seeing anything about them in WWF Magazine before here. Collect a star with every bar. Try delicious Superstars of Wrestling ice cream bars. They were delicious, and I liked getting the free trading card. I gotta look through all my old stuff and see if I still have any. I didn't have like the whole collection or anything, don't get me wrong, but I had like maybe 4 or 5, something like that. I don't know. I'll have to look and see if I still have them. WWF interview, a talk with Jake the Snake Roberts. Always gotta love these interviews, but you know that they're probably not real at all. Battle of the Titans, Demolition's dirty plot to shatter Strike Force, destroy Rick Martel. Did they just go after Rick Martel? Yeah, it says that he got hurt. There he is, taken out on a stretcher. Yep, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, frustrated but determined. Very cool. Frustrated because that Intercontinental belt, he got passed by on that. It was supposed to go to him, but then he got hurt, and in real life, and then Ultimate Warrior came in and snagged it from him. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, but that hasn't happened yet. But it will at SummerSlam 88, which I believe this magazine has previews for. Morocco vows revenge. She promises to destroy the Hammer, and of course he took on the tie-dye, the good old Superstar Billy Graham tie-dye. That just fell. That's alright. WWF Trivia. Oh, they're continuing the trivia with this issue as well. And of course the new catalog, which we saw in the last issue. This is pretty much exactly the same. Or it is exactly the same. Hulkamania collection, Macho Man collection. Now you got your kids collection, bibs, diaper wraps, stuffed animals. Of course, no magazine's complete without the centerfold of WWF t-shirts, Superstar t-shirts, Andre shirt, Lipolani Poffo frisbees, buttons, postcards, posters, watches, calendars, all good stuff. Maybe I had this Ultimate Warrior poster. Me and my friend. I know I had the Macho Man one. I know I had this one. I think I even had the Ultimate Warrior one. And I had the Billy Jack Haynes one, and I had the Macho Man and Elizabeth on the Beach one. That was an old one. And then there you go. Oh, look, now Macho Man is the one in there with him on the cover, which was just a few issues back. By this point, I had all of these magazines at least. In fact, the October one, that was the first one I ever bought on newsstands. And then you've got some of the programs, but I didn't usually buy programs as back issues. I'd buy them when I went to events. I don't think I ever got any. The pay-per-view ones, like I did buy the WrestleMania 3 program as a back issue. This is Morocco's Revenge article, continuing after the catalog. And the coronation, King Haku assumes his throne. I guess Harley Race had retired at this point, but he actually, I think he was out for a while and they gave it to Haku, and I believe he came back for a really brief time. He had like a scar on him and everything because he had like an operation, but he wasn't the king anymore, but he still was wrestling in his king gear because I guess that's probably pretty much all he had anymore. So there is Haku. This is the new king. Oh, look at him with all his royal subjects booing at him. And we keep on going. Oh, who wrote the Book of Love? The introduction of Brother Love, otherwise known as Brother Brucey, Bruce Pritchard. He was, I remember when he came in, I was like, what the heck is this? I never liked Brother Love. I mean, I like Bruce Pritchard, and I like, listening to a lot of his shoot interviews and stuff like that. And I guess looking back, it's okay. And a lot of stuff happened on the Brother Love show. Because remember, there was no Piper's Pit anymore. They had, what did they have? The barber shop. I don't know if they had it at this time, but that was pretty much the only thing. Of course, they had backstage interviews, but pretty much most angles, most turns, most things were pushed through the Brother Love show at this time. Rocking the Big Apple, SummerSlam 88, the season sports spectacular. I saw this at my friend's house live on pay-per-view. I remember that evening very well. There's more SummerSlam 88, but this, of course, is the preview. You got Macho Man and Hulk Hogan versus Andre and DiBiase. Demolition versus the Harts. Now, I'll tell you what, though. Demolition versus the Harts. But I believe it's, 2 years later when Demolition goes against the Harts, and Demolition is, they're like bad again, and they have 3 people in Demolition, because they're the heels, and the Harts are the faces. But then Demolition turns face later at Survivor Series, double turn of them and Powers of Pain. But then they're heels again by 90, and that match is a great match. Here again, more preview of Demolition versus the Harts. WWF Magazine special report. We're ready for the top. The Fabulous Rougeaus claim greatness. This is when they were sort of mocking America think they started saying they're from like Nashville or something like that. And then you've got them versus the Killer Bees, it looks like. Hacksaw goes home. Private Eye from Glen Falls, New York. There he is. He's probably talking to his dad, I guess, or somebody. Neighbor folk, I don't know. Oh, yeah, you know, he just, was he chopping wood, going to school, and fighting fires. That's all, that's what Hacksaw does on the weekends, you know. He's not wrestling. WWF Lowdown. You got Hillbilly Jim. Who is he? He's arm wrestling Mayor Koch, former New York City mayor. Although at the time, New York City mayor, but now former New York City mayor. George Animal Steel with Mine. You got Jake Roberts. Looks like he's signing autographs. The Bolsheviks. And you got a match that we were just looking at. The Rougeaus versus the Bees. I guess the Rougeaus took that one. Wrestlers Rebuttal. Stop the Big Boss Man. This is the first, I think we're seeing of Big Boss Man. And of course, this is by Bam Bam Bigelow. The WWF Crossroad. Greg the Hammer Valentine in the center. And caught in the act. Hulk Hogan on a boat. Oh, and look, 3 big new WWF videos. Hulkamania 3, Around the World, and the Women of the WWF. Pretty cool Coliseum video. Love seeing that. And here is your back exclusively on pay-per-view television. SummerSlam 88 live from Madison Square Garden, Monday, August 29th, 8 p.m., where the Mega Powers meet the Mega Bucks. With special guest referee Jesse the Body Ventura. Don't be shut out. Call your local cable operator now. Very cool. And that is September 1988 Brutus the Barber Beefcake on the cover. Alright guys, that is the September 1988 issue of WWF Magazine with Brutus the Barber Beefcake on the cover. Guys, again, I'd like to ask you to please comment, please like, please share, and of course, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. All right, guys, that's it for September 1988. We're going to get into October 1988 next week with Hulk Hogan on the cover. But until then, guys, have a good one.